I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's always coming into. Oh, nice. Sorry, we made you miss the pledge, yeah? I got it. Just at the back of it. It's only 5:30 now. We gotta start early. Yeah, all right. It's been a long minute.
It's 1 minute.
How do you do, Corey? Thanks for coming. They started already. Yeah.
Back from Jeff City, I'm sorry.
No,
You're fine.
they started. Yeah, we really appreciate you being here.
This will be a joy. Where I've been for the last 2 days.
Let's hope.
I do have to leave at 6:45.
Okay.
I mean, we have an hour and 15 minutes for that.
Sounds good.
I'll
Yeah.
try to keep my mouth shut.
TTC Chairperson Tom Hooper,
Are you here?
TTC Vice Chairperson Brock Gibson,
Here.
TTC Member Amanda Schwint,
Here.
TTC Member Whitney Tucker,
Here.
TTC Member Roseanne Ani,
Here.
Board Liaison Joe Steiger,
Here.
Chamber of Commerce Representative Dina Kreitler,
Here.
and St. Genevieve County Representative Corey Ford.
Here.
Full house.
Have approval of agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any negative? Careless? Approval of minutes from previous meeting for March 18th.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? On to approval of financial report.
Take a look at this. Yeah, we're slowly staying the same, right at 94, or gaining a little bit. We're at 94,000 total, collected 1,500 last month. Did one of those things like in March where we jumped up, and one of those again, those little $4,000, $5,000 dumps, and then went back down. So, but looks like we're on pace to at least make what we did last year when we were at the halfway mark. So, and maybe surpass that. So that's good.
It's crazy looking at financials like this that have so few transactions. This is usually like 150 pages. This is good.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Financial report approved. Wait, any public comments?
Well, and you guys can come up too whenever your application comes up.
Oh,
Correct.
is that it?
Yeah, this is just for
As
any
you can
addition.
tell, I don't watch you on TV. I apologize. Back and for the fit.
Well, that's okay. That's just in case somebody comes and wants to make a statement or ask something.
No.
In old business.
Yeah, old business. We just had the St. Jen's Gravel Classic. Brock and I actually manned a post for that. I thought it was a really lovely event. We had 250 plus riders at the beginning. They wrapped around Merchant Street to the side there when they took off. And, you know, again, I know, well, I think 40 people, from what I heard, Terry Thomas said, 40 people stayed over for the Taste of St. John. So that's pretty excellent. And I just think it's a lovely event. The people were lovely. Brock and I had several conversations with folks stopping for that 18-mile loop. And I just think it brings a really nice element to town, and hopefully, you know, we expose them to the right thing. They come back and spend money and just keep St. John in their minds. But that's more or less what the event is going to be, is something like that, and I'm okay with that. And I think it turned out really nice. Brock, do you have any?
Yeah, I think it probably, it was a fantastic event for people that it turned out the people that showed up weren't from here. you know, there were no locals there. I mean, we got to figure out a way to like play into that thing, you know, a way that we can, if we add to it or if we just market it internally better. It's a neat little event. I mean, my son went down there and he was like bouncing off the walls. He was so excited to see the bicycles. You know, it was a little later in the day, but some of them were still coming in, and he was just so excited about it. And I thought, man, you know, kids would love this thing. And they were supposed to do the kids. Maybe they did do it. I just didn't see it. But like a kids thing where they were teaching kids how to ride a bicycle and stuff. So they have some neat things that they do with the kids, and I just feel like maybe it just didn't get out to locals very well. Maybe.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's interesting because I've just started reading articles where like places like schools in St. Louis are starting to have gravel off-road biking sort of like clubs that they have at their own schools. So maybe this is something like, you know, with the little outreach that they're doing with kids there. Maybe it's one of those things that like it develops into
I mean, that would be
something for locals or for something for kids. You know, I think it. I don't know. We'll have to.
Well, and we've been, you know, I know there's been work on getting a bike trail here, an official one. And if the school started doing like a, you know, bike club and they went, you know, had some specific trails that they rode together, that's a neat idea. And then tying that into the gravel classic and expanding that somehow, because the fact that it brought that many people and nobody was local was pretty amazing, actually. I mean, there was, I think, 300 bicyclists that showed up, and you know, a lot of them brought their families. So there was the parking lot from Audubon's all the way down, the whole Sylvanus parking lot, that whole entire thing was completely full of cars, and immediately, like, there was people looking around, trying to find places to park. My wife was driving north on 55 and said every third vehicle until she got to Festus had a bicycle on the back of it. It was pretty neat. I mean, I think there was something to that. I mean, there was something really special about that event, and there's some cool stuff you could probably do with that to make it more local friendly and get people out there to see what they're doing.
Yeah, just nice, very relaxed people. You know, like you said, we talked to them.
And while it's a race, it's not necessarily a race. You know, you can do it as recreational, just take the trail with everybody else. You know, most of them are doing that, actually. I'd say probably only maybe 50 of them are actually in it to try to race. The rest of them are, you know, just there to enjoy themselves and ride a nice trail that they're not used to. And I also heard from the guy who designed the trail or mapped the trail out that this is the most rural of those events that they have. They usually, almost all of them are up in St. Louis in the city somewhere, and they're running through city streets. So he said that it's really cool to come down here and do one that's in a more rural, more remote area. I think one guy had mentioned that we talked to that if you know, that he was more of a mountain bicyclist, and so running those really long straight levee roads was not his cup of tea. But I assured him that when they changed it back.
H road was.
What's that?
I bet H road.
Yeah, I think he did the short one, but he didn't. I don't think he got there. But yeah, I was telling him that just, you know, hang on for next year because they move it, and you know, I know that a couple of years ago it was back sheer to bottom, and those roads, that's a beautiful trail. So hopefully that thing keeps evolving, because it's there's some energy behind that. I was very impressed by that.
Well, it was good to get to see it, and actually, instead of like just watching people take off and standing in the parking lot, going and actually like being on the trail, it kind of gives you like more of a like, oh, this could happen with it. And we hopefully next year and successive years will have more input to you know, help it evolve. And like this is what we'd like to see for the town too.
And maybe adding a few vendors that are specific to this concept. You know, like there were some vendors there. I can't remember what they were selling, but there were some vendors there. But even having like food trucks and like, you know, some vendors that sell bicycles and helmets or whatever they would sell. But I don't know. I think it's a neat, and I think, you know, any event that gets you outside.
Do people stick around at the beer garden?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Good.
It's busy all day.
Yeah.
One thing that, I don't know, you might want to note, or maybe better signage, but with our event that was going on and me kind of being out in the street quite a bit, especially for the ones that are racing and are really coming through, not a single bike stopped at the stop sign at Market and Main. And two that were really racing at the early stages just about got taken out.
Wow.
And it wouldn't have been the car's fault, because when the car looked and went to turn, they weren't there.
Huh.
But when the car went to go, they were flying.
So
And
it wasn't blocked right there?
Yeah, that's interesting.
The road wasn't blocked?
There was nothing at Market and
I think
Main, and
that's-
all day long we watched bikes go through and not a single one looked or stopped.
I think that's more like bicycle etiquette, because I was going through St. Mary also, and they were coming across the island, going straight across the road, and none of them stopped, and I was like, oh, good thing I'm paying
Yeah,
attention.
so if they're not going to stop, and since it's a map that's given out, and that may be more signage on
Yeah.
TrailNet's part, so.
Yeah.
Because eventually someone, especially
Oh,
for
yeah.
the ones that are casually riding, but the ones that are racing did not care, did not look, did not stop, and that was really close.
Good to know.
Yeah, even coming off H Road, I watched it, I take 61 to Perryville, and they were coming off H Road, and they just turned, like, they
Yeah,
didn't,
they
they didn't
don't
stop,
even-
and I was like, that's
they-
really dangerous.
yeah. You get hit on a bike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And especially those, they're going fast.
You have them monitor those.
Or maybe even just like a sheriff's department sitting there or something.
Yeah, right.
Signs to let the cars know, watch for bikes today, or something like that,
Sure.
just so people know.
And they've had that more of a community event in the past. They've partnered with the Taste of St. John and had it on where they could come down. Because they've had food, I've cooked a couple years down there for the bike race, and they've had crappy weather the last couple of years, so.
So they
I
have
think
one
they-
good weather day and no vendors, you know.
And so, I mean, they've had bands, Audubon's before, had bands there in the beer garden area and stuff like that. So they've done something. So maybe this year was good that they kind of got back on track, because I think they were doing the taste on Friday and then the bike race on Saturday in years past, but this year they were both on the same same day. And so
Seemed to turn out well for the, yeah.
it just there was a lot going on this weekend.
Yes, there was.
Do they have to, like, run their route through the city and county
Yes.
police department?
Well, I know that they went through Perryville. I'm assuming they came through, they talked to St. Genevieve about it too, but they usually have to get approval for the routes.
So the reason I asked
Is
is
that
like,
right?
when we did tour of Missouri, we had at every intersection where there was a main intersection, like Highway H and 61, we had to have people stationed there that were like there for the traffic.
Yeah, there probably should have been something there,
Yeah.
for sure.
And
Yeah.
that was a Highway State Patrol,
We'll give them that feedback. That's-
Con-
Yeah, because it was
agreement.
very dangerous there.
Yeah, that is just a dangerous.
But our city and county were aware of the route?
I mean,
You'd have to think that, right, Happy, the city was aware of their route.
Yeah.
And that you think the county was too, or?
I contacted all the county commissioners, both counties about the route that they were taking.
Okay. There's me.
I would think out in the county, they would have had somebody stationed, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
not.
think they're supposed to
There
follow
was definitely
road rules, and if they run stoplights, then, or stop sign, it's on them. So,
I think for general biking, yes, but if it's in an actual race format
Well,
or,
that's what we were thinking when they flew by. I told my daughter, I said, well, they didn't want to stop. They had their momentum up.
yeah.
But then again, that car didn't know that, so.
Yeah, right.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was that, like normal race etiquette is the road is stopped at the intersection from traffic while they come through. That's typical, but I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done tour of Missouri, so I don't remember.
I know there was a situation in Perryville that some bicyclists got routed around some private property that they had must have missed or something in the review. But yeah, so there was a little bit of a hiccup through that, but it wasn't too serious. The ones that were in the front got through, and they were the ones that were the serious ones trying to get through. So the ones that didn't make it through weren't as upset as the
Yeah.
beginning of the line would have been if they got rerouted. But overall, no, I got feedback from Gina too. She said it was fantastic. She loves doing this event down here. Yeah, I think it was the only downside to that was that it wasn't as big as it could have been. I think more people could have enjoyed that. I think it would have been something that could be bigger than what it was. It was really interesting. It was like the necessary thing that creates all the energy was there. Just the people didn't come to enjoy it, you know? So I think,
I wonder if that could be alleviated if they gave us a little bit more of a role, if TrailNet gave
Yeah.
us more of a role.
yeah, like partnering in it.
Right. Because I do feel like the marketing on their end was a little lackluster
Yeah.
myself.
Sure. Yeah, and
I mean, we
maybe,
did the things that we were supposed to do with what we could do, like with the posters that they gave us and stuff. But I feel like I had to really search
Well, and
for
in
that
their,
event.
in their defense, they are marketing to people who are buying a ride, to take the
Right.
ride, and they're marketing to people in St. Louis. So we probably naturally wouldn't see their marketing down here. They weren't targeting us really.
Yeah, but then, there again, I think that's where we kind of,
Yeah,
we
we can-
should
we
be able
can
to
market.
piggyback
Yeah.
on, do something
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And we have, we just
Yeah.
have kind of pulled back because the
Yeah.
last couple of years have kind of fizzled because we've had crappy weather.
right.
And like last year, half the riders pulled out because we had that storm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
and
they
it
just-
ended up being a pretty nice day, and I think even, you
No,
know, I
it
don't know
wasn't.
how
It
you
Was it
guys.
always in April?
Yeah, we,
Yes.
we get picked, St. Genevieve, they pick us down here because it kind of supplements some of all their St. Louis events.
Oh.
So we get, I don't want to say the crappy choice of dates, but they pick us because they wanted to add us in to see how it would go. And then now it's, we kind of solidified it to be early spring and you just never know what you're going to get. And we're not going to probably get one of the primo dates in the summertime, so it's just, but I'm sure they would take more help from us, but they've kind of gotten burned the last couple of years because of weather and locals just didn't want to come down and hang out at a beer garden when it was 50 degrees and blowing wind and rain,
Yeah.
so we just had crappy weather. So it's just tough to do
That's-
something in
that's any
Missouri
event.
in April.
I mean,
Yeah.
really,
Well,
it's any
there's-
event, but they
Yeah.
take the risk of
Yeah.
that.
Depending on the weather next year, there's some good energy around it right now. I think we can piggyback off this year and really, I think next year, it doesn't have to be extravagant, but I think we could probably add to it, in some capacity for locals.
Another event that happened same day was the Melissa encampment, and this year was a little bit special because the Fort Deschart Spring Market Fair got rained out the weekend prior. So the market fair was moved and combined with the Melissa encampment, and I thought it really, the yard was just full of like period reenactors, and I just thought it was beautiful. If you didn't get a chance to go see that, it was really something to see. And they had a lot of great vendors there. They had a woman that painted in like this 18th century style. It was really beautiful. Roseanne, do you want to say anything?
It was a very interesting day. I mean, you had diehard demonstrators. I mean, they set up camp on Thursday
Wow.
and stayed till Sunday.
And it rained hard right after they set
It
up. too.
did, well, as some of them were setting up, it was pouring and it didn't stop them. They just kept, and on Saturday when everyone was coming to visit, if I'd been camping since Thursday and hadn't had a shower or anything, I wouldn't be so chatty. But they were very welcoming to everyone that came through the yard and people were really having a good time.
And they had a really cool little band. It was like a stand-up bass and a dulcimer, and they were singing. We got some great recordings of those songs that we can use for our social media, which will be great. Like these organic songs that it's hard to come by unless Dennis Stromack comes to town.
Right, and it was fun all ages were having fun. The kids that were walking through there were learning how to play games, and, grandparents were with them. They were enjoying it. It was fun for any age.
I thought it was a good event, and it seems like the market fair. So every year, Dewana Tucker puts on the market fair. She would like to alternate doing the spring at Fort Deschart and then doing a fall event here in St. John, because they really loved St. John. So that's great. Joe, anybody want to talk about Taste of St. Genevieve, how that went? You were a vendor, so that's.
Yeah, I'm kind of an honorary committee member. Terry Thomas is the foundation director for the hospital, and she gave a report today at Rotary Club and said they grossed $10,000 more than they've ever grossed on that event. So that tells you, I think it had a huge amount of vendors, more so. COVID really hit that event hard, and so now it's kind of back in full force. And then they had more ticket sales. I don't know what the numbers were, but they had more ticket sales than they've had in the past too, and then lots of vendors. So overall, we had good weather because the Saturday was perfect. So it was just really nice. So I think it turned out good.
How many burgers did you make?
Well, you have to make 400 samples is what they told us. So we cut them in quarters. So, but I ended up making more than 100. I made about 120 burgers because people kept coming back. So.
Because you only gave us a quarter.
You only gave us a quarter. I tried to buy a whole burger.
So that means half a pickle.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I thought the event
Too
was very,
few and
very
far
well
between.
planned.
Yeah,
That's great.
I thought it was
Yeah.
good too.
I just, going into a gym, I thought, man, this is gonna be, it just might be kind of weird in there. But when I walked in, I was like, it's really nice. It was
Yeah.
very comfortable. It like
Yeah.
felt comfortable in there. It's really cool.
I thought the vendors were great too. I
Yeah.
mean, they were, the scope of
It was
them
great,
was
yeah.
awesome.
Really great job. Terry did a great job. Yeah, we were a vendor also, but we didn't realize that you can actually sell stuff at your table too. So we just brought everything to give away. So it was just.
Yeah, we did giveaways too.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of you guys at my table.
I came to your table, your mother was there.
Mamas were good.
Yeah.
Your mom was giving everything away when I went by. She said you were late.
I was late. It was very neat though, because it was like, we had our moonsicles there and a lot of people didn't know that we made our moonsicles.
Oh,
They were
really?
like, oh, you actually make these.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, so I got to see a little bit behind the scenes and like, oh, yeah.
It was an event that I don't know that we're actually, I mean, I don't know, I shouldn't say that because I don't really know what the marketing and what the approach is with that, but man, I would go, I mean, that's an event that I would, if I was out of town, I would I would drive into a town for something like that. It
We
was
had
really-
several. They checked. There had some people from Springfield, Missouri. There was people from out of state that came in that just randomly saw it. And so there was and then there were some bicyclists there and stuff. So there was quite a few that were from out of town.
Awesome.
Good.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a neat event.
Upcoming events, we've got Tim Heller's SEMO F-150 coming up, Rally in the Valley 2, and then Build a Bouquet is coming up. Dina, Amanda, you want to talk about that? How's ticket sales and all that?
I'm not sure
I'm not really.
how the ticket sales are, but it is May 3rd, 10 to 4. We're doing registration at Avon's parking lot. And if there's rain, then we're going to be inside in the library. But yeah, I think we have 23 merchants who signed up.
21 or 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Still over 20 that signed up to participate.
Is that more than like a normal?
It was about the same as last year.
Okay, same as last year,
Yeah.
but yeah, a lot of, it's less of a barrier for the merchants, they seem to like.
Yeah, it's no
Something like
cost to
this,
them at all.
Right,
Yeah.
no cost to them at all.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
So we're gonna be using the in St. Jean Beauvais garden again, like we did last year,
Yeah.
to build the bouquet. So yeah, I mean, I think so far, you wanna volunteer some time to help build bouquets? We'll take
save
all the
your backs.
volunteers,
We'll
save
do
our
it.
backs.
Can you describe the concept of this event? Isn't it like that what do they have to do?
It's kind of like, it's really for like driven around mothers and daughters and for Mother's Day weekend, pretty much to spend the day with, the female in your life. But we want them to go to the shops and purchase something, but they don't actually have to, they don't have to purchase to get
They just
to
have to
get
visit.
their stamp, they just have to visit. But a lot of times they come in downtown and they end up buying something from
Sure.
the store that they go into. So for every store they visit, they actually get a stem. And so when they bring us their map that's, got their stamps on it, then that's how we build their bouquet. And we let them pick out their own flowers, and if it's 20 stems, they can pick 20 roses if they wanted to, or whatever. I don't know if we have roses, but if that was the case. And then there's a photo opportunity for, like if I was there with my daughters, I'd go take a picture with them, and then I'd have this beautiful bouquet and
Yeah.
for Mother's Day.
It's a really nice thing.
Yeah, it is really nice. Other communities have stolen our concept.
Really?
Even the same weekend, as a matter of fact.
It's flattering.
It's very
Yeah.
flattering.
Yeah.
Be flattered. That's-
We are very
that's a good way
flattered
to
by
be.
it. They did not steal our name.
Or logo.
Or logo.
Which has been done.
Yes, that's correct. But we are very flattered by it because actually Cookie Crumb and Chocolate Walk have also been stolen from us. We were the originators of that concept too. So
You're spreading love. You're spreading
we are
love.
spreading love chocolate and.
We did stop the logo steal though.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Yes.
cute, yeah.
Yeah. Good thing you got a graphics person on your side. But yeah, so we're excited about it. It's our second year and I think we're only selling 100 tickets. Last year we ended up selling 75 or 78 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think we'll probably be around that same.
I think we also like came up with that event very quickly last
We
year.
did.
It was very last minute.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and I think it was beautiful, and I think the Insane Jimbo looked really beautiful, and the way you guys decorated that. And yeah, I just thought it was a lovely event, especially being close to Mother's Day.
We're hoping for good weather, so.
Absolutely. Skipping down to old business, we have Missouri Main Street Connection, just
Actually, I'm sorry, man. Can we talk about the SEMO thing and the rally?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to know what those are. Just remind me what
We
those
voted
are.
on that last month.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the
That's what I
truck
thought, the
show.
truck, right?
Yeah.
That's coming up. When is that?
Next Friday.
Yeah.
That'll be
Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
SEMO, I think. And then,
That's the SEMO F-150,
Yes.
okay.
Oh, but it's all the same.
Yes.
Oh, right.
It's, yeah.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything, I mean, do we need to do anything to prepare for that? Or is that just,
They do draw a pretty large crowd.
yeah?
And they're having a swap meet on Friday and then the actual show is Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, they pull from all over the place. I
And they're
mean,
at
it's
the community
huge.
center?
Mhm.
That's the main,
Are they doing the truck parade again?
I'm
yeah,
not
truck
sure about
parade.
that.
Do we know what time?
I could probably find it. He did reach out to me and see if he could use or do like a photo op at our new building, the Union Hall building. So we're gonna maybe barricade it so they can like pull in there and do like a photo op for that.
Oh, in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Do they go through town when they do that parade? Do you know?
Yeah, they do.
They did last year.
Okay, let's see. I gotta pull it up here.
I'm trying to find it.
I was
He
trying to
posts a
find-
lot.
I was trying to.
He does very good advertising. Okay, here we go. Cruise starts at 1 p.m.
On
So
Saturday?
the event is 10:30 to 5 on Saturday, 2 to 8 on Friday.
And 2 to 8 on Fridays, it's swap meet, right?
Yeah, swap meet and greet. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a really good job on that advertising with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do it Friday.
They have a swap meet out there.
Swap meet. That's new. They didn't do that last
So-
year.
They're trying to get people to stay overnight.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're getting people to stay overnight. Interesting. I mean, I haven't seen anything about that.
Really?
Do you follow those type of groups?
It's a lot of
I don't-
social marketing.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of that, but, I just, yeah, I'm just kind of surprised I haven't seen a lot about that.
I've seen some, yeah.
And
But he's really trying to pull from out of town.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
He's
right.
trying to get, out of state, out
Sure.
of state, yeah, because he's trying to get 400 something trucks this year, he had 300 something last year, so.
Did,
That was the first year.
Yeah.
He came out swinging.
Yeah, they have people coming from Tennessee and Kentucky and.
is he working with anybody down, like in any of our organizations, just kind of collaborating, or is he just running with it?
I think he's let all the restaurants know,
Yeah.
that they've got people coming in town, but I don't think he's pretty self-contained. He's using the community center and, it's, he's got, DJs and porta potties and, things like that. He's got,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
I hate to skip around. I was just, I told them not to make their comment on public comments, and then I'm looking, they're the very last thing before.
They say at the beginning, and you say, wait till.
Yeah, wait, oh, yeah. Basically, it was like, oh, we'll get to this, but they're all the way at the end. Could we like bring that up for just a second, just to let
Yeah,
them?
let's go ahead and.
Unless you like being here and listening.
This is-
We would love to be here for as long as you want us to be. If you like for us to go right now, we can do that. We'll be very brief.
I'm good with them going now if they want.
And then you can stay if you like, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
We had it last time.
It was last month.
We had it back last time.
Okay, y'all ready?
Oh, yeah, and I think we.
You did, you approved
Okay.
us, but we
That's
should have
okay.
been here, and for that, we want to apologize. There was a mix-up in dates, and it's our fault. We apologize that we were not here. So, and then I was told, maybe we need to review with what Jour de Fête is does everyone know?
Yeah.
Basically that, we're just craft vendors and food and we mix up our event. We also have the nonprofits of other things here in town and that we all kind of piggyback as we do in this town. And it all goes on. We do it during the day. Then other people have music until 10 o'clock at night. And it's just a nice little thing. The first thing we brought up last year was our kids' entrepreneur corner, and it was fantastic. So it will be larger. And we went to Carrie, she's our advertising person, and she will tell you what we will plan to do with the money that we got. And we thank you very much for considering us for this.
Sure, you're talking about Jour de Fête?
Yeah.
Okay, not
Not for the front. You just,
So, with the money, my game plan was I have connections at Channel 5 and Channel 12, and I wanted we used to do a commercial, but I also want to do, I don't know how many of you guys still have regular TV. Do you do more streaming? I want to, with the streaming aspect, I want to do it with Channel 5 and Channel 12. If we can pinpoint certain areas and target certain areas like St. Charles, Waterloo, Illinois, just certain areas, and try to pull more people and get more tourism, get those shops filled, get the restaurants filled, all the surrounding areas like hotels, our hotels. That's my game plan, unless you guys have any other suggestions, but I wanted to dip more into the streaming of it, besides doing just like the Facebook and bumping up Facebook ads and doing like flyers. We'll still do all that, but I'm just like trying to plan ahead in the future with the money, like to do something different. And then I'd like to, when we finally do it, I asked Channel 5 and Channel 12 to give me like data, and I can bring it back to you guys and see what counties and what areas interacted with it, which ones are interested in St. Genevieve. And I asked them to break it down like the target. Am I hitting 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds? I don't know if that's something you're interested. Am I striking out?
Carrie, I do know that Paramount, like you can go on and basically do that. Like if say like you watch Paramount all the time, it will like pop up a commercial. So maybe check like Hulu
And I was also thinking like Spotify
yeah, because
and
Paramount was
different
only
things.
$500 and I didn't think it was very bad.
No, and
For
it's
that.
not compared to some of the ones I've been looking at. But I was just trying to get St. Genevieve on the map in a different age range and a different.
So what did you film something or are you going to film?
So a long time ago, they did they had a camera crew come down from Channel 5 and film a commercial. And then ever since then, I've just kind of been tweaking it and updating it every year. So I'd like to do something more recent. And with that money that you're giving me, we'll be able to spend that to make it more recent and promote more up to date, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know if you were even interested in the target information. If not, I won't borrow you with the statistics. But that was something I asked Channel 5 and Channel 12, like, hey, if I go with you, I want the statistics. I want to know who's going to actually come to St. Genevieve.
I think that would be nice for any of us to know really, like if we're interested in doing advertising ourselves or.
we want you to use that money for new advertising that you haven't done before, and it gives you an opportunity to explore those things. And media is changing all the time, and you're getting out there and getting that exposure, especially when you can get the analytics afterwards. They mean a lot to us.
The goal is not, and you can't, not to put it in the Herald, is to reach outside that, 50, 60 mile zone.
Oh, I want to swing big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my goal. So,
Good.
all right. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming. All right. And do you mind if I go down Missouri Main Street?
See. Yeah. Yeah.
So just a reminder, everybody's accepted the invite, at least from this board. But Missouri Main Street Connection will be in town next Monday. Yeah, Monday at 2 o'clock. We're gonna meet in here. Basically, that will just, it's a information gathering. I will turn in the application for the grant on Friday. They'll come on Monday and then kind of decide from there whether they're gonna pick us up again for that or approve the grant. And then after, we're gonna spend about an hour in here, and then we'll walk around town and kind of identify like some physical things. With that empowerment grant application, I've got to go around and take photographs and stuff like that of the town and kind of identify things. So they'll have a good idea beforehand of some of the opportunities and things like that. But this will be a chance for everybody here who has a stake in, wanting to see the downtown change, I guess, be revitalized, to have some input of like where they think those opportunities lie. And I'm going to be excited to hear it anyway. So that's excellent. I think Julie Turnipseed will be coming, and Ben White from Missouri Main Street. So there'll be 2 representatives coming in for that. Card kiosk, I think we can scratch that off. We've kind of, I've replaced that with welcome and wayfinding stuff, and we'll go into that. We have bandwagon. I don't think anything's happening on that as of right now. 2025 welcome and wayfinding grant. I just want to remind everyone, I don't think we made any action on this, and forgive me because I'm still getting my bearings as bringing things to the board and getting things approved. But we have a matching grant with the state currently for this year to get some sort of welcome wayfinding signage. I was hoping we could, I wrote it for the kiosk, but since we've kind of scratched that idea, I've brought to you in this little packet that I have here. This is some of the branding stuff that's coming back. And I guess, what would that be? The second to last page.
I don't think we have that.
Yeah. Wait, you've got one. Where's yours?
Someone still, oh, I found it.
You should, everybody
Did I
should
steal
have
yours?
You have 2?
Nope, I just have one. I'll share.
one.
You mean you're gonna update this 20-year-old billboard? I don't know.
Well,
I'm joking.
I would love to do that for next year. So we also have in new business 2026, they're going to redo this grant. So this was kind of something that was put on us really quickly. They're like, hey, we're offering this grant. How much do you want? So I said, well, we'll put up $3,500, and they'll put up $3,500. So we've got a total of $7,000. And I was thinking, I started doing a dive on getting an RTCA grant with the National Park Service. And I realized we already had one that was active. And part of that is the sidewalk that they're putting in on St. Mary Road, but part of that is the walking path that's on Progress Parkway. Was that part of it? What is part of the RTCA grant? Like, this signage that I'm.
CA was designing the path from downtown out to the community center,
Okay.
and including all the homes and areas that they have in the historic district.
Sure. Okay.
So what we're looking at, the TAP grant, that's what's on St. Mary's Lane, and the TAP grant on 4th Street.
We've got to use different grants to kind of get this going, but there was a whole plan that basically, how does it connect us? It goes out from downtown on 4th Street, and then it shoots over down to Progress Parkway down M, right? Okay. And they wanted us to have, signage, and they mocked up on the second to last page. You can see on the right, that's the signage that they have mocked up on the right. And that was in the RTCA grant. And I had Blacktop Sailor kind of use our, branding material, our rebrand, to kind of like update those. So, we could have, what I'm hoping, and I'm hoping to expand on the RTCA grant coming up, where we, use this kind of signage to mark biking trails, to, kind of get those people who are coming from, for the St. Jane Gravel Classic to, have more, don't do that. Don't deface your.
Sorry.
No, I'm just joking.
Aaron's like, what's she scribbling over there?
Oh yeah, no, she's marking the ones she doesn't like. There's none you can't.
It's just one.
Okay, good, perfect. So anyways, these are some options that I would like to possibly see, so we can start marking that historic trail. I'm thinking, getting enough signage that goes down Main Street to St. Mary's, and at least we have these signs ready to go whenever that sidewalk gets put in. And then on the very last page, I've always am kind of like, I wish there was some sort of way to mark when you're going down Market Street and you hit the historic houses, or at least you hit French Center for French Colonial Life. To me, that's kind of like our museum district, right? Like when you go into a city and you see these kind of banners,
Yeah.
And we have those light posts, they're low, but I'm wondering if we couldn't like hang some of these on the low light posts, like right in the center. And at least it kind of marks like St. Genevieve, historic district or something like that.
Yeah.
So those were my two ideas. And Blacktop Sailor helped me kind of brand those or keep that within our branding.
Are you talking about the lamp post on the street?
The small, yeah. I mean, I know they're short, but I wondered if we could I went and looked at them, and maybe I'll mock something up to send to you guys that shows what it'll look like, so you could go like, oh, that doesn't look as bad as I would
Is
think.
that a hindrance to traffic though?
You would not have it on the street side, you have it on the side.
Oh, okay.
And I'm thinking of like posting it right in the middle of the post,
Yeah.
not on the sides, so that it's not obstructing anything. And they would be 18 inches, so that's like yay wide. So it
Yeah.
really would be like a couple inches,
I like the banner idea. I love the banners.
That's okay. That's a good scribble, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I don't know if we want to make a motion or anything to go forward with that, because then I can go back to the state and say, hey, here's what we're looking at doing with that money.
Are you looking at taking?
I really like these two.
Yeah, I like those as well.
What about the RV billboard?
So that, I mean, we could, I don't know how much that's, I don't know. I was at.
They're hard to get.
Okay. But I think that's owned by somebody different. I was talking to David Bova, and I think that's owned like privately, and they have rented that space out to MRB. But I would love to see that with something. I mean, that's like a prime.
Yeah.
Trying to get that just to do this.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, exactly. And I feel like though that's going to be a little bit more than $7,000 to do that. So maybe that's something we target for the 26th. You know,
Billboards aren't bad.
no, they're not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Oh.
It's a lot less than you think. I just got quoted recently, actually. It was, I think, $400 a month.
Okay.
And
But
the
to,
vinyl.
but to get the actual one
Vinyl's a couple
page.
thousand
It-
bucks.
Well,
Okay.
1,000,
is it-
2,000,
he would know better than anybody.
1,000 to 2,000 for the vinyl.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
And an install, so you have to pay another $500 to have somebody install.
Well,
we got $7,000.
Who's the one? Is it Lamar? Lamar, I just talked to a guy from Lamar the other day, and I think you just pay the first and last month, and as long as you pay that up front, they do the whole thing. They'll even create the print, the design for you, and they put the whole thing up. And it was cheap. It was cheaper than I thought it was going to be. I don't think it's going to be as big as you.
There is a new billboard going.
But you'll have to see
on
who owns that billboard.
61. Did
and
you see that?
what-
Yeah. That would be-
161 where?
by the big fields.
Lamar doesn't.
There's a new one. Maybe find out who owns that.
Okay.
It's brand new. It's not done yet. On by the big field, there's a new one going up, and there might be a new one going up on 32.
Well, maybe we can just kind of move things around and talk about the 2026 Welcome and Wayfinding Grant too. 2025, we're going to be coming up against the wall of like the state's new fiscal year starts July 1st. So I've got to get this stuff moving. What do we want to move on? You want to see me see about a billboard? Do you want to see me? I should have had a quote today, but I don't think I got one. I'm working with Main Street Signs out of Perryville on these.
Can I?
Yeah,
I don't know. I would like to make a motion to move forward with the trail route signs and banners.
Okay.
Wait, I have questions on the banners. Where's the cutoff? Like, where will they start? Where will they end?
Yeah, I mean, we can dictate that too.
That's a good question, because I would like to go further, not like closer and then,
Yeah.
Like the whole-
Color coding them and having different differentiation things.
Yeah, that would be
Way
nice.
that variations, so you know you're now in a residential area, starting a residential area.
Something like
Of
that.
historic homes, and these are museums and those,
Sure. Yeah, okay. Well, where would you guys like to see
so
them
can we
go?
make a motion to just get the quotes and stuff, and then maybe we can Do you have a map?
Don't need a
Do you
motion.
happen to have one on you?
A map.
Like a city map?
Just whip it out of your pocket.
Well, you know, I don't think I've given them all
Well, and
away, but
at least I think we have that available
Yeah.
to present for the 2026.
See why we got all those.
We may not be able to get the money together, but to have that
This money out of the way and then toss them out.
is,
I think this is very doable to do.
yeah. Well, I think what we can do with the 2026 welcome and wayfinding is I'm hoping to get like billboards made for that. And I
Even
think,
the
I think we can
actual,
at least
like,
get these signs, and even if we get too many and it like, it ends up becoming extra.
we've had some billboards before.
I mean, I think these would match. Is that what you
Proven very
mean?
ineffective.
Like with our ground signs?
The messages on it and where they're located and our locations
Attach and
are
there's a lot.
Yeah.
poor at
With
best.
multiple.
Because they're being done by.
Are very,
Well, and I think
These are main.
We got a couple different conversations here. Aaron, we got a couple conversations going. Can we bring the meeting back together so we can all hear what's going on?
yes.
sorry.
No, keep it going, but we can't hear what you guys are
So
saying.
Joe brought up like the look of the current wayfinding signs that we have versus what this, if they're gonna look like with something like this. It is two different materials, so they're not gonna match 100%, but to get them, Maybe
Color and
similar?
typeface, color and typeface, so they kind of
I
look
mean, I
like
don't
they
think
belong
we can't
together.
do, I mean,
Are those
we
wayfindings?
can't use the typeface
They
that
would
is on the
be,
wayfinding
The
side.
little fins that are on the,
Well, I guess no, these wouldn't be.
These are just banners, they're not.
Yes, I know.
But you want to have
So
some,
like basically like coincide with it. So maybe we
Match
should,
it.
at least table it till next meeting and we can maybe go take some pictures or maybe when we walk around on Monday, we'll take some pictures.
okay.
Can we make a decision that we're gonna move forward on this, just we don't know exactly what the exact final product's gonna look like?
Wait, so our next meeting would be, what, May?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of
I
close to
think,
the
I think
cutoff?
we're getting close.
That's why I'm thinking.
Do you have another project like a billboard that would just be simple that we could knock out this
Yeah,
year in
billboard.
25 and then do this more complicated?
You know, we're looking at,
multi-sign?
this is kind of what I have proposed, like these, you know, and billboards, you know, we're not talking about for these billboards that we would put in other cities. We're talking about like, you know, getting that MRV Banks billboard. And so it's a welcome sign, yeah, or a wayfinding sign. We could also, I didn't put these in there, but this is a design for new, I mean, just since,
I mean, we talked about going to a different type of these signs. So if we're gonna do that, that would be a great time to do
we
that.
could also just do that instead.
Yeah, because I mean, these do look not the best.
bring them all up to, bring everything.
We
up.
were, what were we talking about doing?
And add what
We
you
talked
need.
about
A different type?
Different type of materials.
So we talked about doing a different type of material on here because they were basically, I mean, the sun,
Peeling.
sun
They
kills
peel,
everything.
right.
Yes, so we were gonna basically upgrade the wayfinding signs of like gradually. So doing this all at once would look a lot better.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
And then it could go brand with color and everything.
Do you know, I guess you guys already work with somebody that could.
Brewer Graphics right now is the one who does the current.
But we were gonna go to Main Street signs, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we did
So, I mean,
approve that.
That's
at-
great.
Yes, we did approve that. So I mean, that would be great
Okay, I was
to
like, let me see this.
roll it all in.
It's a worksheet.
Oh,
Okay.
Cause to say, to say
Okay,
we want them
yeah.
to match, we can't match those that we have currently because they're dark brown.
Right. Yeah, and it kind of going off of our branding.
Like you
now.
can't have a brand guide and go off brand guide.
Exactly. So what if we just update
So
it like
which
that?
old ones though? Because we have multiple. Essentially, that's what we were talking about.
That would be good.
I'll pass them this way.
Better off.
Here's so this is kind of
Yeah,
what we-
these, okay.
what we got to
I doubt
update
it.
those.
Bringing this to
I doubt
this.
it. Okay, Main Street, I doubt it. You don't know?
You want to pass that to Roseanne?
I thought, I can say
You're
it.
good.
Oh.
You want to be part of it?
The whole thing.
Well, and if, I don't know what this would cost, if this would get us close to the same, should we just go ahead, that would probably be,
It would probably be close with all of them.
Yeah.
okay, cool.
so I guess my question, tell me what you're doing.
What's the
Is that
ask?
what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to make a motion
I'm
to,
confirming if Main Street has started the ones we just told them to start, which wasn't a lot, was it? No, there was 4. There was only 4, so I mean, it's not the end of the world.
So who pays for the ones that you guys are updating?
The business owner, that's why I was just getting ready to ask
Okay.
Aaron the question. So are we asking the businesses to buy new blades
I think
for these signs?
with a grant like that, especially if you have 4 in production that they've already paid. So if we're gonna update it, let's just
Update it.
put the $3,500, the TTC, and then have
Mm.
their $3,500 and just
Yeah.
replace
Update,
everything.
okay.
Yeah, and then get rid of the ones that are
Yeah.
antiquated, you know?
Because I was gonna say I wasn't gonna be in favor of going back to the businesses and
Yeah.
asking them to pay more.
Now, if one has to be replaced or they want to add one, then at that point we can
that's-
discuss.
right.
Yeah.
Then that should be on the business.
Yeah,
But to just
So
go
is-
in and change the whole layout, all that.
Yeah, of course,
We
yeah.
should not.
So can we then say that we're considering the wayfinding signs and the banners? Is this one decision?
Well, we have follow-up questions on the banners.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to make a motion just for the wayfinding
Just
then.
on wayfinding. I think that is a fantastic idea.
That a way to get your,
Yeah.
so you don't miss
Yeah,
your
that I'm
deadline.
already, and then the follow-up questions. And what do I need to prepare for next month for the follow-up questions on that? Oh, like where?
Yeah,
but-
I would have a map, like
Yeah,
with a
map.
district that you're
Yeah.
gonna,
Okay.
You should have a better
And
idea.
I'll do, yeah, I'll kind of show.
and a better idea.
So there, we have a motion opposed to, basically, to upgrade the current wayfaring signs to the new logo and standards that we're
Yeah,
working.
I'll make a motion to approve the wayfinding signs being replaced.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion before we vote?
Aaron, if you talk to Main Street Signs, just ask them what we talked about with downtown, like the type of material. I forgot what UV coated or something. It was something, so that the sun.
Oh, yeah, I remember you guys talking
Yeah.
about that a couple months ago, so.
So the motion is to authorize Aaron to look into the cost and how it fits into the wayfinding and welcome grants for upgrading our signs to the new logo and color standards
And this is for the 2025
for the 2025
grant.
grant.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then there's the other thing was to also have Aaron look into the locations and styles and for creating the small banners to go on the signposts throughout town and put that in a format so it can be presented for the 2026 wayfinding grant
Well-
cycle, unless we can get it in to the 2025 cycle.
Well, and with the 2026 cycle, I have to, the 31st is the deadline to put in that
So,
application.
Okay, so.
So we want to talk about that and how much we want to ask for and what we want to ask for. So they will match up to $30,000 for us to.
So is that something you need to get a quote for then, like ahead of time?
I think
The 31st of what?
of May
Oh,
or of April. April.
oh,
Sorry.
oh, you have no time. Oh,
Of April. Oh, sure.
Aaron, what do you think about just getting a quote, say, just guess how many banners you think you would need, and then we can fine detail it?
Yeah.
So at least you can ask for the correct amount.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, up to a certain number of.
Okay. And is that the project we'd like to go for, the banners
Yeah.
and maybe the trail signs as well, or just the banners?
I think
Just the
both.
banners.
I would think both.
Anyway, no.
Well, this is not when I was going to bring this up, but it's appropriate because we're talking about this. But I also was thinking, I wanted to discuss the ferry at some point in this session today. And one of the things that I thought about that I think would be helpful to the ferry would be signage for visitors that they
Yes.
know there's a ferry down the
Sweet
road.
Lord.
So if you could we could include in this.
That's what I
ferry-
was hoping with
ferry
those little
signs.
round signs. Is
Yes,
that ferry
exactly.
and then an
Yes.
arrow.
So if there was a very clear ferry open sign or something, that just literally drove you out to the ferry.
Yeah.
I think
Or
it'd
at the
be
very
nice-
least mileage, because a lot of people see
Yeah, one
the
mile.
one that's
Yeah.
there, and they're like, they
Yeah.
go so far and I can't find it.
Yeah.
I think just to get quotes, even when you quote the signs and have them quote the banners, so you have them separate.
Yeah.
Then we
Okay.
can decide.
Sounds good.
Probably.
So I've got till So, yeah, well, I don't even think we'll, so what, I
Is that
guess,
the quote that you need? Is it the main thing that you'll need before the 30th?
I will, yeah, I guess a quote and just like, you know, what we want to spend it on. And, you know, also don't forget, like, we could have that replaced.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if they're doing up to $30,000, we should be like really looking at what we can do. And I know it's kind of a short.
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt to get a quote. I mean, if you're going through Main Streets, they can do the signs,
They
they
can
can do
do
the banners,
billboards.
they can do billboards, yes, they do, well, almost all the
They do,
billboards.
yeah. And if we have to call a special board meeting just to come together before the 30th too, and approve all of this, you know, finalize it so that you can get it submitted, I think we should, probably pull it on it.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, perfect.
But I think if you can come up with more, I mean, whatever you can think of, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say.
I'd like to see your little packet though, you had extra.
Oh, yeah. I'll just give this to you. This is good. This is like the website all the way through. So this is kind of, we're getting close to getting all the brand standards, but they rushed this stuff so that I could get.
So with the new businesses in town, are we somehow gonna notify all the businesses that they have the option to get in
We
on
should
the
figure out a way,
wayfinding sign?
we should figure out a way to do that. We should figure out a way to do
I
that,
mean,
or at least somebody.
It seems like
Your question again,
We-
an option
we
to
have
do what?
the wayfinding signs, if we're gonna have them redone with the new businesses in town, is there a way to find out, you know, before that you guys do it, before, to see if they wanna join it?
You mean like new businesses that will be opening?
Yeah, that aren't currently, or businesses that aren't currently on the wayfinding signs.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like we just did that with downtown because Lawrence.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make
Lawrence
sure
Meyer
that we
went
were
to all of the businesses
weren't
and asked if they
down.
wanted to replace their sign, if it was fading or
Okay.
peeling.
All right, that's
And
fine.
then, or if they didn't have a sign, he asked if they wanted a sign. And I think we ended up ordering 4 last time.
Stand for Daniels.
Actually, I think Danny was on the list, wasn't? I don't remember. But
I don't
if
know.
we're gonna do this, then we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
double check everything.
I'm not sure. There was 4 new ones that we just
Okay.
a couple weeks ago that we.
But I would think that would be something you could do. I mean.
Because honestly, I don't know that we're on it or not, but
I'm asking.
Yeah.
if we're not, we should ask.
I think you guys have 2 signs.
and-
I think you guys have
And
2
if it's
signs.
free,
Okay,
they would.
I believe you.
I think you do.
Okay.
So,
I
But
probably
I can find that out for you.
wasn't.
I think that
in charge of it. Well, I'm sure look at them.
I don't, so we need to probably talk about this too, like you just said, like it's,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the matters as well, just in case.
it is a rabbit hole, but we need to talk about it.
Doing it.
Somebody brought up like, is it free? Like, I feel like whoever is on the wayfinding signs they have already paid for that.
Right.
They should be entitled to a free upgrade
Yeah.
since
But
we're
maybe not a
upgrading.
free
But
new
if, say like Love Goods is gonna want one, I will expect to pay for that because I did not put my cost into it initially.
So you're not grandfathered in?
I'm not grandfathered in. Whoever, if you're on the wayfinding signs, you're grandfathered in. If you want a new one, then you must pay.
and is the pay going to tourism?
It goes to down, well, that's another rabbit hole.
Yeah, so
I
I
think
think,
we can figure that out.
right now, we just say, this round, we do our lap around town. If you want to be on it, let us know. If not, go. And then if you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah,
I think so.
I just feel like if you go
Yeah.
around and give everyone a free sign, you're gonna get people that are mad that have paid for it, and I would be.
Then, okay, I'll tell you what. If they're mad and they don't like that they paid for the sign, tell them to call me and I'll give them their money back.
Brock.
Yeah. But I don't like that
Because
idea. I like
that's
your
never,
idea
that wouldn't
better.
even happen. They would never,
But I mean,
I don't believe
I
it
know,
would
but
be upset.
I know, but you just have to be black and white, and I feel like that's the black and white way to be.
But I do think you're right. If they already have a sign, they're
They
already
paid
on
for
multiple
it.
signs, they've already paid for it. So we might as well just redo their sign if we're making
yeah.
it. But say
It would be
Love
like, it would be
Goods,
like MoDOT going and, hey, we're gonna update our exit signs, but you never bought one before, but we're updating, so we'll just give you one. Well, that's $5,000.
I think it's nice. No, I'm saying, I think we're being good to people. I think by giving people this for free and.
We're being good to people by upgrading it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So what we're saying is Danny's doesn't have one, so you have to pay for yours. Just to be clear.
And I hope you don't think that that's why I don't care about paying for that. I have no problem with that.
I should figure it out.
Yeah, well, how about this? I'll pay for mine and then give everybody else.
All right, I'll take one.
I'll get yours too.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, well, I think I've got everything we need. Thank you for doing that deep dive with me. I will go into my tourism director report.
Can I ask one real quick?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's just a question I don't know.
Sure.
So, and it's probably more of a question for Happy, but Happy, this metal sign down here on 4th Street by the bridge, are we redoing that too at some point?
It's something that I wanted to bring in there as well, as far as a wayfinding thing. That would be very cool to redo that, but I don't know who owns that and if anybody's gonna be upset that we redo
It's
that.
not,
Yeah, so who does own
Is it the JCs?
I don't know, anybody knows.
I think,
I think the JCs maintains it.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. I don't remember what board meeting I was in that came up, but that's what it was.
And the only reason I ask is because, the chamber just approved their new logo, and so I need to get my old one off there. It looks terrible, but I need to, I don't know who to contact.
Well, we don't maintain.
I think it is the JCs. So,
Okay, how can I find out how I can get
I
that?
think
on there?
I think a strong wind is due to blow that one
Is
over.
that Sam?
We run off the road.
It is Sam?
you need a new car.
What a coincidence.
Okay.
An accident, right?
Right.
Oh, I knew that.
but it's owned by Lily and Overlay.
The sign, oh, I'm
She would know that.
just curious because I want to change out our,
Oh, can you guys send me the new logo?
yeah, I will.
Yeah.
We just approved it today at our
Nice.
board meeting.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll be announcing it at the gala next week.
Oh, I want a sneak preview.
I might let
I
you.
won't pass it around. Keep it in-house.
It looks very good. And we complimented the new St. John logo quite well.
Okay, yeah.
We don't say so ourselves.
For sure. Well, I'm glad you guys got that going. I really liked what I saw. So.
But it will be very distinct.
That's
So
good.
it's not like when we did the Eclipse where all of our logos look the same, like
Right.
city, county, chamber. It's not that
That's
anymore.
awesome.
We have our own.
That must feel
image.
freeing.
It is, yeah. So,
Uh,
anyway.
All right, so I will give my tourism director report. And I kind of gave one today to Rotary, and I thought it was good. I'll give kind of like an overarching thing. I will talk about some conversations I had today, which were pretty exciting, and then kind of go like, personal, what's going on in the job. But overarching, as you can see, we're getting very close to getting our brand standards packet. They asked me, Blacktop asked me, what sort of things are you guys hoping to address, with the branding, with new logos, where would you like to see stuff? And so this was some stuff that I had them work with, and they've got a couple of other things that they're working on. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Also, the website was going to launch this week, but as you can see from the first page of that Blacktop came back and said, so that's actually pictures of our new website, but with the branding colors added in, and I think it just looks great. So I wanted Jay Rudney to integrate our branding in there, so it's going to take another week. So it should launch next week. I will talk with Jay Rudney tomorrow morning and just make sure everything's on schedule with that. But that's two major things fixed right away. So I guess I haven't said this out loud, but I think now the clock starts, of like, okay, we've got our new branding. Now everything measured from here on out is kind of like, this is ground zero. We're at ground zero of where we're going to be from a tourism perspective. Now our brand is the thing we put forward and we develop and we advertise. So now, with all even the stuff that I've been doing the past year, it kind of doesn't get reversed, but now we have a new brand. So that recognition kind of starts over. So that's why I say this is ground zero. But I'm very happy with where we're at with that. And then the Visit Widget app, if you want to download it, it's Visit St. Genevieve in your app store. It's ready to go. Please, I don't have time to mess around with that. So if anybody wants to get in there and give me some feedback on what's working and what's not working, I'm supposed to sit down with them Thursday. We're going to do like a liver dumplings tour, stuff that they can put into that they can, fun things, walking tours. Say again?
Is it St. Genevieve?
It's in St. Genevieve, yeah, in the App Store. But yeah, please, so hopefully it'll get beefed up as we go, but, just usability and stuff like that. If you have any, points of order on that we can, work with. And that'll be integrated into our website. So we'll have embedded maps that are from Visit Widget that, have this kind of seamless crossover. So I'm very excited about that. So people can go from our website to an app that they can carry around with them. And it's kind of like the passport idea. It'll be one of those things where they go, let's go back to St. John. We've got this app again. Let's plan another trip. That'll be fun. At least I'm hoping it'll work like that. So that's the big overarching things that we're looking at. Today, Happy and I sat down with the new superintendent for the National Park Service, Rachel Davidson, and she kind of broke out, we sat down and kind of aligned on, they actually, for a new park and with everything that's going on in the current presidential administration, they actually have a good surplus of money and they're using it for marketing. Right now they're targeting third grade classes because that's when they learn U.S. history. And, so they're starting to see that and hopefully they're saying they can pivot that to getting those fourth grade classes to come back and get their junior ranger badges and stuff like that. You have the Patrick putting in the RV park. When that's done, you have another entryway into the national park. There's a lot of interesting things. I think this next phase of the National Park Service in St. John, I was making a joke, but it is kind of true. It's like, people around town with our new housing development are like, where is this housing development? Where, we don't see it. Well, it takes time. And I think with the National Park Service, even myself, I'm like, man, kind of disappointed with their presence. But they have been putting in the infrastructure. And I think now you're going to see, I think Rachel has a lot of good vision. She had talked about different ways of talking about because we've had a lot of pioneers and frontiersmen come through St. Genevieve and then move on to other places. Moses Austin, Lewis and Clark have passed through. There's this kind of needle point where they crossed the river here and they ended up in different points in the West. And she talked about marketing in other national parks in the Western United States and talking about the people that came through St. John and go to our other national park. And then even us being able to use the National Park Service platforms to promote ourselves. So I thought it was a really great meeting, and she also seems like she knows how to get just the day-to-day stuff done as well. We had that sidewalk project going to St. Mary, and it had a pretty big holdup. They were trying to make us use compacted gravel on a section of it instead of putting in an actual sidewalk. She said, "Whoa, that's not right," and really talked to Happy, and they kind of went back and forth on what was needed there. And so she's going to make some phone calls, and she, so we have somebody on our side. It seems like. So I'm really enthused about that. Another interesting part of this whole conversation is.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Did you mention the RV park?
Yes.
Where's that?
It's going to be right next to the antique mall out on what would that
Front
be?
Street.
That's Front Street.
Yeah, it's, I drove by it the other day and I'm really stoked about it.
Ooh, 12 spaces?
Yeah, it's 12.
There's room for 24, but he started out with 12.
There's a dump station and, well, I mean, it's
All the infrastructure is
fantastic.
laid in. I think he's just waiting to blacktop it or something.
it's a great
And it's in
location.
town here?
It's right in downtown, yep.
Right next to Antique Mall, yeah.
The antique mall.
Literally right
You
next
know
to
where the
it.
train trestle is?
I know what you're talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah, just drive by it before you go home. You'll see it.
St. John.
But yeah, I mean, that's right down the street from from the Welcome Center.
It's
So
a great spot.
it's just perfect. And that was the biggest thing when I talked to the National Park Service. What's the biggest thing you get? Well, we get people wanting to bring their RVs because they're going cross country and trying to hit as many national parks as possible. And they go, "Where's your closest RV park?" Hawn State Park. That's 30 minutes away. Who's gonna do that? But now it's right in town. I think we'll see a lot of.
It's gonna fill up.
It's gonna fill up. Yeah, he's gonna need to get those other 12 ready right for that. And then whispers of a pickleball court coming in too. So I'm sure if you want to grill him about that, he'll enjoy that. But another part of this, sorry, I'm gonna kind of droning on, but the Amaro Beauvais house, they started construction on that, like reconstruction, renovating that. It was in bad shape, and it's supposed to be a 2 to 3 year project. Seems like they're going to open it up May 23rd for a very exciting thing. I don't know if anybody knows Don Strand in here, but long story, he's a descendant of Pelagie Amaro, who was a woman of color that ran a house and ran the Amaro Beauvais house. And he's a white guy from California, and found out he's related to this colored woman in Missouri, and he was just so taken by her story. She really fought to keep that house. And so he pitched it to some studios in LA, got picked up by the studio. That was 4 years ago. Well, since then, that studio has won 2 Academy Awards for short films. And they did a film on Pelagie, and it's ready to go. And so they're going to debut that film at the Amaro Beauvais house on May 23rd.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting stuff. And yeah, Don Strand's a pretty extraordinary guy, and I will get more details on when that'll be. And I think that Amaro house only holds like 15 people or something like that. So I'm not sure where they're gonna. Yeah, I think maybe they were talking about.
Outside.
That's right. Yeah. So they're gonna do it outside, so it'll be in the yard. Hopefully, again, weather permitting, it'll be wonderful. Try to get some students out there. I think it's the last day of school as well. So. That's very interesting. And then on a personal level, but also a great thing for St. Genevieve, I realized, was told a couple of Fridays ago that I'll be the recipient of this year's Missouri Division of Tourism's Rising Star Award. So that's very cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. And shamelessly, I kind of bucked for that award at the last year's conference. They presented it, and I went, I can win that award. And so I told the director, I was like, I'm coming for that award. And then I just kept inviting them and showing them stuff that we were doing here. But I think what it does, what I'm hoping it does is just help galvanize us a little bit more to let people know, like, hey, when you tell people about St. Gen and they hear about it and they see what we're doing, they see the way that we're telling the story, they go, wow, there's really something there. So I like to say this award just shows all eyes are on St. Gen right now. And I think we've got a lot of momentum. It helps us capture just a little bit more momentum. And that's the name of my game, is capture that momentum, keep it going. Let's find another award. Let's find another thing, and let's just keep pulling ourselves into the future. So. Oh, and then we have the marketing assistance grant application.
Everybody have your marketing grant application?
Nobody here from Heritage Days?
Excuse me,
You mean,
Foundation.
Or Foundation?
yeah, this is for the foundation for French Festival.
Yeah.
I think again, the only thing that stood out to me was that they marked that the event is free of charge, and then it said except for the dance at the Bolduc.
Yeah, they have a dance afterwards with a limited number of people.
So then you have to pay to go to the dance?
Yeah,
As far as I know.
that's what's happening. But everything during the day, so like Dennis Stromat and, I can speak to
It's just a limited number of people that fit in the house, is what.
Right.
It's not in the house.
Yeah, no, it's
But honestly, Aaron knows way more about it than I do. So.
sure, yeah. And this was just
In
something,
the garden.
it's kind of more something that the city is going to help put on. But,
As long as the marketing efforts aren't going to selling tickets for the dance.
right.
Like, if it's going to if it's going to the,
Yeah, it's doing the
Festival,
whole
yes.
thing, yeah.
yeah, the French Heritage Festival. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see on the back of page 5 there, all the other events that are free
Yeah.
open to the public.
I mean, honestly, it'd be kind of like Jerdafet. I mean,
Yeah.
they sell burgers at Jerdafet.
Yeah, yeah, they sell burgers, that's right.
Yeah, and they've not had as much advertising money in
I just was
previous
questioning,
years.
I didn't know
Yeah.
what it actually meant. It just said
Yeah.
yes, except for the dance of the bulldogs. So
Yeah.
I was like, is there a fee?
Does that mean that there's a fee?
So,
So I just
They're-
wanted clarification.
yeah, they're planning on doing a lot of extra things. And they're really nice. They've actually laid a list out of the publications they're going to do and the costs of those in the grant application, in the body of it.
You mean like some people we're not seeing here?
Right here. And then they broke it down.
Oh,
If
there's
you- if
two
you-
sides. There's two sides. I got you. I ask all the dumb questions.
Well, I'm not used to seeing it all typed out fancy. I'm used to
Yeah,
all
look,
this.
yeah,
I mean,
right.
You can't read.
That's nice that they did it that way.
I mean, I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I do like how Jerdafet was like thinking outside the box like that. Like, it's weird because that Paramount thing just popped up on my phone the other day. I was like, oh, how much? I was just looking, I'm like, $500? That's not bad for.
Yeah.
I think Hulu would be better or
Sure.
Disney Plus, but
I don't know. Paramount's got,
they got some good shows.
what was it? What do they have? What is that one with Kevin Costner?
Yellowstone. Yeah, Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Yeah, you were saying,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
So I have a question about the grants, because I know we were talking about it last time. Is the grant a matching grant?
Yes. So
Okay,
we would,
so if Jerdafet.
which grant?
Oh,
No. No, for that, it's just we give the money.
It's advertising.
Okay, I know. Well, I was just wondering if by a matching grant, if they had to spend, so if we give them $500,
No, they
is
don't.
that on top
But
of?
this is not, the grants we'd like, the one we just approved is not a matching.
It's not
It's
matching,
just an
it's just a grant.
assistance.
Okay, because I had found something in some old notes I had from when I was on TAC that described the tourism grant, and it did call it a matching grant,
Oh, interesting.
which is, and I think it was like February or something, so I didn't know, I mean, it hasn't been that many months that I've missed it, so I didn't know if it changed, but that description of this grant program says that it's a matching grant.
Oh.
So if you spend $500,
And you get,
if we give you $500, you also have to spend $500, and all those receipts have to be turned in, what you spent.
Bring that to the next meeting.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
Oh.
oh,
And is it on the application?
TTC Marketing Matching Fund.
Oh.
So that's why and this could have changed because there was a while that I wasn't,
Mhm.
when TAC.
Is it on the
Wouldn't that be in-
application? It's not
Wouldn't
on
that
the
be in
application.
minutes somewhere?
That's the application, that's not minutes.
Okay.
This is from February 24th.
I mean, that's-
The February 24th meeting, I should say, is what I got it from, so.
I feel like that's kind of like a big deal because if it is a matching grant, these people need to be matching and
Is it- And it is in the application, it says matching grant in the,
Well, I don't know, I went online, after we talked about that last month, I was like, well, I'm gonna educate myself, so I went on the city's website, and I didn't find this, but I found it in my notes from my meeting, so I don't,
Yeah, it could be an old or first
well,
copy
it's
or
from
draft.
February 24th, it
yeah, so
sounds.
we were in the middle of doing them, yeah.
Could have been a first
Well,
early
it's over
draft.
a year ago. I don't, it's not that way. It's not a matching grant.
Okay, well, I mean, this kind of explains how the entire thing works, so if this was updated, I think we should all have it, so we know what we're approving.
see it. Yeah. And if it was updated, it should be in minutes. Yeah.
Right, because I have my notes from after this, I think there were like 3 months I missed before then I'm on TCC. So within those 3 months, this would have had to been changed.
Happy, can you send that to us? Or would you have that?
I'll have whatever version we had of it. I mean,
Okay.
If you see it, what was eventually approved by TTC for the matching grant.
We don't need all the we don't need all the drafts. You just need the final.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, just the final one.
A copy of the application, maybe you could email to each of us so we know what.
You have the application in front of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not the
That
application.
would be the
I want
description.
the
Right, see,
description.
that's just a worksheet, I think.
That's a
That's now
description.
no longer.
This is the application, and this matches the application that
She's saying though, if the description says it's a matching grant.
This is the description, this is telling, this is explaining how it works. And then what you have to turn in afterwards. And
We did.
Yeah.
I looked online and I didn't see anything, I mean, I could have been missing it, but if it's been updated since February 24th, since most of us on here are new, we should really have a current copy of we're approving all the money. You know?
Yeah, I feel like that would make a difference too, if it was a matching grant. I mean, I'm not gonna ask for $1,000 if I'm not gonna fork out $1,000.
Exactly, and that's what I was questioning, because if it hasn't been changed, this is what I was given in February of 24.
So that was probably an early version, but I'll see what I can find. What we have in the application is what the TTC eventually wanted it to be. It was the same, I don't know if they even asked for reimbursement, because we asked for reimbursement up front.
This does.
Yeah, see, we were doing that when we first were designing it, and that was turned down. So it's probably the same thing.
Well, this says unless it,
But that
There's
that's
a
no longer,
stipulation.
that one's no longer good though.
So we're just
Right.
asking for the current.
right, that's basically what I'm saying. We should all see the current one since some of us are new.
This is it. This is what, I mean, this is all they get.
So they don't get a description or anything like that?
This is it.
Just
They never we handed out a description at all. I don't think we have one, do we? It's just the application.
And it's got the
We
obligations
have a
on the back.
description. I don't know if it's that one or not. I don't think it's on our website.
The after action report, but
So there
Yeah.
is something somewhere.
It seems like there should be.
Yeah, I got it. I'll send you everything I got.
Thank you. Any other business? You ready to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All ready? Everybody?
All in favor?
Let's go. I see.